Alrighty, so here we go with our first hand, and it looks like a good one. We're on the play, which is obviously a good thing. We don't have a Boggle, a one-drop Hexproof fella, but we have two Core Spirit Dancers, so we'll be able to play one on turn 2, and then hopefully load it up. So even without hexproof, this hand should be good against a lot of things. And affinity is probably one of them. I mean, Spirit Link is good against affinity. Having a huge creature is good against affinity. Interesting Frogmite there. And land isn't the worst because we should be drawing a whole bunch of cards, or this is going to get Galvanic Blast, and then we're gonna want to play our second Spirit Dancer and immediately Umbra it up for protection. Alright, so a Cranial Plating. Our opponent had a pretty fast start. Fortunately, we're on the play, otherwise this could have done some serious damage. And we draw Daybreak Coronet, which is an excellent draw because now we'll be able to gain a massive amount of life. So the first play that comes to mind is Spider Umbra, Daybreak Coronet, block, because we'll have Reach, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. But the way Spirit Link works is that it actually stacks with Daybreak Coronet, because Spirit Link doesn't actually give lifelink, strangely enough. It triggers a life gain, so we're able to Spirit Link up, see what we draw, and then Daybreak Coronet on our gigantic Core Spirit Dancer. It's probably not going to matter that much in theory. It might have even been better to Spider Umbra just for protection of the Core Spirit Dancer's sake, but we do have a backup one. And looks like we end up taking the same amount as we gained, so it didn't really matter. So Etch Champion can, right now, in theory, block this. Of course, Trample is going to easily blast through that. Like, we're on the play, we had a great start. Infinity had no disruption. And just going to town with our Spirit Dancer. Could have killed our opponent, but doesn't really matter at this point. Like, even if our opponent had an Infect land, we wouldn't be that worried because we have Reach. We have plenty of Reach. Yeah, so sideboarding against Affinity, pretty straightforward. We're gonna definitely want the Disenchants and the Stony Silences. Obviously the main way we're losing is to, like, Cranial Plating draws either on Inkmoth Nexus or Etch Champion that we just can't really deal with. Beyond that, we obviously don't really want these at all, so we're looking at our paths and Spirit Links for removal. So we can Shrive Shram if we want. Spirit Mantle is pretty good. Just being able to attack through everything is kind of fantastic. Hyena Umbras are not all that great. First Strike and Totem Armor are not going to be premium abilities for this matchup because Affinity is kind of non-interactive. So we'll probably be looking for, like, life gain as being better than Hyena Umbra. And Spider Umbra, on the other hand, is definitely what we want because Reach is so valuable. Being able to block an Ink Moth Nexus seems very appealing. And Rancor is probably medium-ish good. So basically, we're looking at what do we want in here? Like another Spirit Link, another Path. Certainly not sure. Maybe even want one SRAM, but on the draw, on the play, we would probably want one SRAM, but on the draw, it doesn't seem like it's going to win the game. So yeah, probably just like this in, that out, approximately. And not really worry about it too much. I think cutting the Hyena Umbras makes sense though, because they really don't do all that much. Alright, so we have Boggle, we have Spider Umbra, we have Ethereal Armor, and we even have a Path, so not bad. Certainly a keep, although... Okay, there's a Core Spirit Dancer. I was going to say we don't really have much in the way of card draw, but there is Core Spirit Dancer. So, here we need to, oops. We need to Spider Umbra up our Slippery Boggle to potentially block an Inkmoth Nexus, or and we get to leave up Path to Exile here. I probably should have just Ethereal Armored as well. I'm kind of afraid of instant speed equip on the Inkmoth Nexus. Like if our opponent had a Springleaf or a Mox Opal, activated up Inkmoth Nexus, and then attacked with Volt Scourge and Inkmoth Nexus, it would be nice to path the Inkmoth Nexus if they went for cranial plating. It was probably just safe to Ethereal Armor, but pathing here is also fine. Turns out that Etch Champion is a problem, though. So we're gonna try and race this, but we're probably just going to die because we don't really have anything good at the moment. And yeah, our opponent puts us down to 1, and we just don't have any life gain. We don't even have draw steps because we've drawn land, so we have to sack our Horizon Canopy and completely whiff and just die. I mean, we didn't hit a Spirit Link, we didn't hit any source of life gain. We just kind of flooded out a bit, and there wasn't really anything we could do there. Again, Etch Champion cranial plating is what we are afraid of, and that is what killed us. Alright, game 3, and this hand is terrible. This hand is also terrible. So we mulligan that too, and this hand is great for 5 cards, so we're definitely going to keep this and hope things work out. And see Spirit Mantle on top. So Spirit Link, Spirit Mantle, and a Path to Exile. I mean, this could just win us the game by itself very easily. I mean, we're on the play, so we just keep that. I probably should have Razor Ridge Thicket instead of, in case I wanted to Path, because it's very unlikely I'm going to be shuffling away this Spirit Mantle. Although this is fine too. I mean, there's a chance I'll want to shuffle away the Spirit Mantle for some reason. Although it's hard to imagine. It seems like perfect with Core Spirit Dancer. We've got Spirit. Yes, we do. We've got Spirit. How about you? Alright, so get double white so we can cast most of our auras next turn. So obviously, if this is getting galvanic blasted, we're kind of just hooped. And this is essentially a free block unless our opponent has gut shot or mutagenic growth, aka cards that they shouldn't have. So here, I probably just want to lead on the Spider Umbra because the Spirit Link is more important. If this does get galvanic blasted, there's a chance I could make a comeback. Actually, more than a chance if our opponent just has nothing after the galvanic blast, since their board isn't that threatening. And it just resolves, which means we are pretty happy because our opponent doesn't even have Inkmoth Nexus. So we are just massively winning the damage race now. Alright, there's Inkmoth Nexus. We do have Path, of course, so we're not too worried at this point. Oh, and there's Stony Silence. So if we hadn't had Stony Silence, we could, we could Spirit Mantle to get in, but that would leave us vulnerable to Inkmoth. Without Path, our chances of dying would have been actually pretty low, so we might have just went for that. As it stands, though, we want to just turn off this cranial plating and keep it on the Frogmite for the rest of the game, because we are not going to be dying to damage anytime soon. I mean, our opponent can hit us for a pretty good amount this turn, but after this turn we're just going to be way out of damage range with another Spirit Link and Spirit Mantle. And our opponent hits us for a sad one Infect. And we draw a Rancor, which is probably just better than Spirit Mantle at this point, because this Spirit Dancer is going to be very large and has Spider Umbra, so we might as well just make it big. And Trample, which is essentially protection from creatures. Once this is large enough, Trample is essentially protection from creatures, and we end the game with 40 life to our opponent's 1. So yeah, that is how you do it with Giant Core Spirit Dancers against Affinity.